servant Eric Romero a sus órdenes. Again, kind of a little bit of in looking at, who the candidates are and the manner, the limited time frame that they have to really work with this activity this evening. The decision has been to work it in two different kind of areas. One which would be an allowance for the discussion between the candidates for presidency, for them to speak to one another and look at where their differences or where their convergence of opinion would be, so that way you could get a clearer picture of where they are as candidates. And then the rest of the candidates will be involved more with an open forum where their articulations or their conversations will be with the audience. So you'll be able to ask questions of the other candidates, but there's already some prepared questions that would be directed at the president candidates themselves. So as to sponsor that, again, they could express themselves, demonstrate where their differences are in the manner of how they're looking at the mission and the leadership of what this important organization is going to be.
So I'm going to go ahead and ask Julian and Joseph to come down. Is it here or
Next to each other.
You guys are actually going to be talking to each other?
Yes.
So the way it's going to go is they're going to talk to each other, give them the same instructions you guys would anybody else. Go ahead. So I'm going to start it off. Okay?
Good.
Joseph, you're currently the active running president for the student senate. Why should you be reelected? Or why do you feel you should be reelected?
Before we answer that question, were we given the opportunity to introduce ourselves?
Oh, go ahead, sorry. Go ahead.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Joseph Dominguez. I'm the current student body president here on campus. I'm a native of Las Vegas. I have an associate's degree from Luna Community College. I have a BA degree from New Mexico University in political science and pre-law, and I'm pursuing my master's in business administration.
I'm Julian, guys. I'm an undergrad. I'm 26. I'm a single father. I'm taking 21 credit hours this semester, so I'm pretty loaded. I have a 4.0. Hopefully I can keep it. I'm taking 21 credit hours. I graduated from Pecos, New Mexico. Not Pecos, sorry. I graduated from Pecos High School. And who else is from Pecos? And yeah. Hold on, guys. Graduated in May.
Welcome, both of you guys. Okay, so my question, I'll restate my question to you guys. Okay, Joseph, currently you're the active president for the student senate. Why do you feel you should be reelected?
I feel that I should be re-elected because throughout this past year I've already established a proven record with the administration and the students. And more importantly, the administration, because the student body president's job is to work with the administration and voice the concerns that the students bring to student senate through senators, and then through the senators they come to me, or vice versa, straight directly. I should be elected because then also I'm currently in the process and I'm on the presidential search committee for the new president of the university. And when we pick the new president now in May, I can't talk about it in great detail due to confidentiality, but the president of the university isn't just another hire of an individual. This individual that we're going to choose is going to be here to stay. It's a long-term position. So that's why I should be re-elected.
Okay. Julian, you also sit on Senate currently. So why should we elect you as our next student body president?
It's actually what I want to do with the position that's important. Right now, student body presidents, yeah, there's on committees and all this, but there's also a bigger picture of what's going on nationally, what actually needs to be done. What I want to do is I want to lobby the state legislature, but I want to do it as a caucus. And I want to get the student body presidents of all the universities in the state of New Mexico and all the student regions in the state of New Mexico. Gather them, create this caucus, meet in conference, draft legislation, and then lobby the state legislature for funds. Because right now, the universities are not getting funds. I think this position can be used a little bit better. I think we can be a platform for other states and show them how to do it. And that's really what I want to do. That's why I want to be president.
Hold on one second. Keep in mind this is kind of a learning moment too for the leaders who are running the debate. The way it was designed is you would have up to 2 minutes to answer the question, and then you go first, Julian goes second, and then you have 1 minute to rebate. You can rebuttal it or add to your
is he wants to create a caucus. Well, in the fall semester, there's Thinking Mexico, it's a think tank. There's an individual in Santa Fe who runs Thinking Mexico. He contacted me and asked me to find a senator to sponsor a resolution to oppose the 30% cut in New Mexico to lottery scholarships. I did do that. I did submit that to the think tank, and if you guys should to the legislature, that the 30% cut did not pass.
Yeah, like I said, that's cool. I'm sorry. I think you can use this position as a bigger platform for things that are happening nationally. There's a push to try to privatize higher education. And, lately we've been seeing that statistically over the last 20 years, tuition's gone up 300%. 300% in 20 years. And it's because of this push to privatize higher education. And students have to get together, and we have to start pushing back, and we have to push for funds. We can strategize all day long. What's the 5-year plan that's going on right now? Yeah, we can strategize about the 5-year plan, but if we don't have funds, then we're not going to implement that strategy. It's the funds first, and then the strategy.
Julian, how much value do you place on personal integrity and character?
I think I live my life at a pretty high standard of integrity. Like I said, I'm a single father. Like my daughters looked up to me. So I try to do the best I can. Do you want me to give like an example? Like I work for student support services, and students come in, and I'm willing to help them with anything. If they need help with a paper, I'll help them. If they need some kind of counseling, I'll help them. If they're having a personal problem, I'll help them. If they don't know how to get a loan, I'll help them fill out the paperwork. I'm willing to actually sit down and work with students to help them. And if anybody wants to sit down and talk to me about politics or whatever else, I'm always willing to do it.
Same question to you, Joseph.
At a gala last year, I made a statement that I always have an open door policy this coming year. For the students that are not, that is up to the students. Since a very young age, I was taught that work for what you have, and you provide for yourself. You don't let anybody else provide for you. And for as long as I can remember, I have been doing that. And that in turn plays into how I carry myself on campus, how I carry myself and communicate with the administration. And inevitably, it's day to day. The connections I've made on campus are incredible. I am not anti-administration, I'm not anti-cooperation. That is my point seems to be. Because if you walk into a room and you want to get things done, being rude and disrespectful is not the way to get things done. Because I think if I came to any one of you guys and I was rude and disrespectful, you guys would not want to help me. I think if you be respectful, treat others the way they want to be treated, then they will be one to cooperate with you.
All right. I guess I have been rude to administration in the past. There's kind of a reason, though. Is that when you see, let's say, staff, the average academic advisor makes $34,000 a year, right? $34,000. Does that seem fair when you have a president of the university that's making $250,000? They get a free house, and a free car, and a free phone, and free insurance, but yet you have advisors that are making $35,000. It's those kind of things that bother me. And when you see tuition going up every year, 10% or 6%, 7%, at what point do we start sharing that burden? If I'm going to raise my tuition 7%, why shouldn't you take a pay cut of 7%? Why can't we share in the burden? Is that not fair? If the institution is on a downswing, should we all not carry that burden together? Maybe that's why sometimes I'm upset with the institution, because they don't want to cut their own pay. Why shouldn't they?
The school is a business, and students are the revenue of that business. It's a national trend that enrollment and retention is down. So how can you profit? How can a university profit if there's no revenue coming in?
I actually said earlier, if we lobby the state legislature properly, we won't have to raise that tuition. We just have to lobby the state legislature and get those funds. That's why I want to create this caucus to get the funds. We need the funds.
Which will take more time than 1 year.
No, at the
past year is currently on the election ballot, so when you guys do go out and vote, make sure you guys vote for this. It is the cut to the executive stipend. With this cut, if passed, it should make available roughly around $10,000 more than what we had to work with this year, depending on students that are enrolled, because obviously our budget is on student fees. So with this money to be available, I want to use that money for student scholarships, student activities, and also the Student Affairs Office is already working with housing to try and accommodate the issues with the internet connection, because I know that's one of the issues with some of the housing. Hot cold water is whatever as well, but that's something to be addressed next year. Not only with the $10,000 that's going to be available, should we just sit back and relax, but use some of that money to make more money, such as fundraising. Because in the past couple of years, there's been no fundraising in the student center. And this year, we could have maybe done it, but we didn't have the budget to do it. If you need money to make money.
We asked the question.
If elected into the office, what do you hope to accomplish pertaining to student concerns for the following areas: housing, tuition, meals, transportation, and more activities?
I'm going to say, guys, a lot that we have to launch the state legislature, because I really do think it's important. Now, again, if you don't get funds from the state legislature or the federal government, you have to raise the price of living at the university. You have to raise tuition. You have to raise dorms in order to get those funds, right? It's a business, right? Like just, but I don't think you need money for fundraising. You just pick up a phone and call. Like, what money do you, what would we be investing in fundraising? Just get donations, right? What money do you want for that?
You know, you have to see why.
Still, you can still put pressure to get donations. We need donations. Now, right now, student senate, we're not going to get as many funds because our tuition, our repayment rate is down, right? We only have 1,500 students, so we should have about 3,000. So that our funds aren't as high, so we don't have as much money. We need funds to get more students here, so we have more funds to allocate to the student center. But if we're cutting all the services all the time and raising tuition, we're not going to get those students. They're going to leave because we're not offering it. It all comes down to getting funds. We're a public institution. We have to get these funds. There's not an option.
You want anything else? You can.
Yes, yeah,
On your, if there was no response.
like a 1 minute.
I'm okay.
Okay. Next question. If you guys were elected to your position as president, I know one of the ballot, or one of the amendments that the Senate is opposing that's going to be on the ballot right now is reducing the number of unexcused absences from 5 to 3 in order to hold your members accountable.